It's 2 a.m. You're lying awake, staring at the ceiling, doing the math again. Daycare is $1,800 a month. That's a car payment. Actually, that's more than your car payment. Your kid needs braces. That's $6,000. College? You don't even want to think about it, but your brain won't stop. $80,000? $200,000? $500,000 by the time they're 18? You scroll through your bank account on your phone, again, as if the numbers will magically change. Your friend just posted about their kid's travel soccer team. $3,000 for the season, plus tournaments, plus gear, plus hotels. You feel your chest tighten. Your kid asked for piano lessons. You said maybe later because you can't admit that later means when we can afford it, which might be never. Every financial decision feels like you're choosing between their future and your survival. And the worst part? Nobody warned you it would feel like this. Not like budgeting, not like being responsible, like drowning. I was thinking about the financial anxiety of raising kids in America, and then thought as a techie, psyche, why not make a video on it so that I can share my viewpoint on it? Maybe someone may get help out of this. Okay. If you've been struggling with the suffocating pressure of trying to provide for your children while simultaneously feeling like you're failing them financially, the next few minutes will change your thinking forever. I'm going to show you exactly why this happens and what actually works to fix it. Everything will be purely based on science. Find a quiet spot, and this is very important to understand without any disturbance. Stay until the end, and if this finally clicks for you, let me know by hitting the like button. Okay, let's start now. Look, I need to be real with you. The financial anxiety of raising kids in America isn't just about money, it's about something way deeper. And until you understand this, you'll keep suffering. Here's the thing most people don't realize. You're not actually anxious about money. You're anxious about what money represents. Your worth as a parent, your ability to protect your child, your capacity to give them the life you think they deserve, and American culture has weaponized this anxiety against you. According to a 2023 Brookings Institution study, the average cost of raising a child to age 18 in the United States is now $310,605. That's for basic expenses, not college, not extracurriculars, not the opportunities you're told your child needs to succeed. Add college, tack on another $100,000 to $300,000 depending on the school. But here's where it gets really interesting. A Pew Research study found that 64% of American parents say they experience financial stress related to raising children, and 48% say it's their primary source of anxiety, more than job security, health concerns, or relationship issues. You're not imagining this. The financial pressure of modern parenting is objectively worse than previous generations experienced. Now you might be thinking, but my parents managed. They raised multiple kids on one income. What's wrong with me? Here's what's wrong. Nothing. What's changed is everything else. In 1970, childcare costs represented about 8% of a median family's income. Today, it's 27%. Almost a third of what you earn goes to someone else watching your kid so you can work to pay someone to watch your kid. See the problem? College tuition has increased 180% since 1980, while wages have grown only 67%. But the real psychological damage, that's coming from somewhere else entirely. Let me explain what's actually happening in your brain when you experience financial parenting anxiety. Your amygdala, your brain's threat detection system, treats financial instability the same way it treats physical danger. When you see that daycare bill, your brain is essentially screaming, your offspring is in danger, you can't provide, they won't survive. That's not rational, that's evolutionary wiring. But here's the thing, your amygdala can't tell the difference between I can't afford organic produce and my child will starve. To your primitive brain, any perceived resource scarcity triggers the same panic response. Research from UCLA's neuroscience department shows that financial stress activates the same neural pathways as social rejection. When you can't afford what other parents can afford for their kids, your brain interprets that as your child being excluded from the tribe, and in evolutionary terms, exclusion meant death. This is why seeing other kids on that travel soccer team while yours isn't triggers such intense emotion. It's not jealousy, it's your brain screaming, your child is being left behind, they won't survive, you're failing. But here's what most people don't realize. American culture has deliberately designed a system that exploits this exact fear. Look, the opportunity economy for kids is a manufactured anxiety market. Private schools, club sports, SAT tutors, resume-building summer camps, music lessons, coding classes, Mandarin tutors. This entire industry exists because parents' fear has been monetized. A 2022 study from the Journal of Family Psychology found that parental spending on enrichment activities has increased 400% since 1990, while measurable benefits to children's outcomes have remained statistically flat. Translation: you're paying exponentially more for the same results, but the cultural messaging has convinced you that if you're not paying, your child will be left behind. This is where it gets really interesting. The anxiety isn't coming from actual scarcity, it's coming from manufactured relative scarcity. You're not worried your kid will starve. You're worried they won't get into a good college because they didn't have the right extracurriculars because you couldn't afford them. You're not worried they'll be homeless. You're worried they'll be, quote, behind compared to their peers. The goalposts keep moving, and every time you reach one, the culture tells you there's another, more expensive goalpost you should be reaching for. Now let's talk about how technology has made this exponentially worse. Social media has created what psychologists call comparison at scale. You're no longer comparing your parenting to your neighbors or friends. You're comparing it to thousands of carefully curated highlight reels. Every Instagram post of someone else's kid at Disney, every Facebook album of elaborate birthday parties, every LinkedIn humble brag about a child's achievement, your brain processes each one as evidence that you're not doing enough. A study from the American Psychological Association found that parents who spend more than 2 hours daily on social media report 58% higher financial anxiety related to parenting, even when controlling for actual income levels. You're not anxious because you can't afford things. You're anxious because you can see everything you can't afford in real time, algorithmically optimized to make you feel inadequate. And here's the really insidious part. The algorithm learns what triggers your engagement. You click on one post about best preschools, and suddenly your feed is flooded with private school ads, tutoring services, enrichment programs. The technology isn't neutral. It's profiting from your fear. And then there are the parenting apps, the college savings calculators that show you how behind you are, the budgeting apps that categorize every child-related expense, making you hyper-aware of every dollar spent. You're not managing your finances. You're being digitally surveilled by your own anxiety. Here's what nobody tells you about financial parenting anxiety. The real cost isn't financial, it's relational. I've seen parents work 60-hour weeks to afford opportunities for their kids, then wonder why their kids feel distant. You're sacrificing presence to fund presence. I've seen parents skip dinners to take second jobs to afford club sports, then feel confused when their kid says they feel alone. The irony is devastating. You're destroying the relationship to fund the resume. Research from the University of Michigan found that children of financially anxious parents report feeling more pressure, less emotional support, and higher rates of anxiety themselves, regardless of the family's actual income level. Your anxiety is contagious. Your child is learning that love is measured in dollars, that worth is determined by opportunities, that they need to achieve to deserve your stress. That's the hidden cost, and it's way more expensive than the college fund. The solution. Here's what actually works, and I'm warning you, this will feel uncomfortable because it requires rejecting the cultural programming you've internalized. Step 1. Separate real needs from manufactured needs. Ask yourself, is this expense ensuring my child's basic safety, health, and development, or is this expense aimed at competitive advantage? Food, shelter, healthcare, quality time, emotional support, those are needs. Travel soccer, private music lessons, Mandarin tutoring, elite summer camps, those are competitive advantages in a game you didn't agree to play but got conscripted into. Here's the hard truth. Your kid doesn't need competitive advantages. Your kid needs a parent who isn't chronically stressed and emotionally absent. Step 2. Redefine enough. You need to consciously decide what enough means for your family. Not what Instagram says, not what your coworker's family does, what is genuinely sufficient for your child's well-being. Research from Harvard's Center on the Developing Child is clear. The #1 predictor of child well-being isn't resources. It's the presence of at least one stable, emotionally available adult. You are enough. Your presence is enough. Your time is worth more than any enrichment program. Step 3. Digital boundaries. Unfollow any account that makes you feel inadequate as a parent. Mute anyone whose parenting posts trigger financial comparison. Delete the college savings calculator app that shows you how behind you are. That shame spiral isn't motivating you, it's paralyzing you. Create a financial plan based on your reality, not aspirational Instagram reality. Step 4. Reframe investment. You know what's the best investment in your child's future? Your mental health, your emotional availability, your marriage stability if you have a partner. A study from Princeton found that children's long-term outcomes are far more predicted by household emotional climate than by household income. Time playing board games with a calm, present parent beats $5,000 summer camps with an anxious, burnt-out parent every single time. Step 5. Honest conversations. Have age-appropriate conversations with your kids about money, not to burden them, but to teach them that worth isn't measured in dollars. We're not doing travel soccer this year because we're prioritizing family time and reducing stress is a value statement. Your kid is learning that people matter more than performance. That's a gift worth more than any college fund.
Look, I'm not telling you money doesn't matter. I'm not saying don't plan for college or don't provide opportunities when you can. What I'm saying is this: if you're lying awake at 2 a.m., chest tight, feeling like you're failing your children because you can't afford everything that culture says they need, you've been lied to. The greatest gift you can give your child isn't a fully funded 529 plan, it's a parent who is present, calm, and emotionally available. You know what your kid will remember when they're 30? Not whether they did travel soccer, whether you were there, whether you listened, whether you were calm or constantly stressed. The financial anxiety is real, the pressure is real, but the solution isn't making more money or sacrificing more of yourself. It's rejecting the system that convinced you your worth as a parent is measured in dollars spent. Your child doesn't need you to compete. They need you to be you, present, calm, connected. That's free, and it's priceless. If this shifted your perspective, hit that like button. If you're struggling with this and feeling alone, drop a comment. You're not alone. This system is designed to make you feel inadequate, but you're not. You're enough. Right now, exactly as you are, exactly with what you have. Your child is lucky to have you. Now go be with them, not for them, with them. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.